let's dive into a topic that might seem obvious. It might seem like the answer is right there in front of you, and you might already feel that you already have the answer. And today we're going to talk about, where does patience come from? Now, there is probably not a debate out there that you've ever thought about, but there is a debate out there within my world of people that are talking about these kind of things. Is patience a skill, or is it a place where something comes from? It's kind of an interesting question. Doesn't really have an obvious answer. If you spend some time thinking about it, you might come up with one. But what I want to talk about is that there is a lot of people out there who think patience is a skill. Now, I think the skill is there, but it's more of a desire to be patient. That the skill to be patient is more the act of actually doing it. And understanding that being patient isn't something that's straightforward and easy. But if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I often talk about this feeling of home, that there is this place on the inside that is the well where things come from. This, in my opinion, is where patience comes from. Patience comes from an exuding feeling of peace more than it does a skill. Because I could read a book about being patient, which would help me understand the skill of being patient. But if I'm an asshole, that book isn't going to do anything. I will still be an asshole, because asshole behaviors come from the inside. Being an asshole may be a slight skill, and they may just be good at being assholes and more effective at being assholes. But ultimately, that place where they get that isn't just something that they picked up on the street. It is something on the inside. It is a learned behavior, or it is a story. It is a trigger that is exuding the idea of being an asshole. So, I want to dive back into our question. Where does patience come from? To me, this idea of patience is a lifelong journey. It is not something you just do and it's done. It is a lifelong pursuit of maturity. But you didn't expect me to say that word. It is a lifelong pursuit of maturity, because to be impatient means that you are more like a child than an adult. Theoretically, an adult has all the time in the world, and their ability to wait is based on that through most of their life, they understand, it does come. Good things do come to those who wait. But to a kid, they don't understand patience. They just know now because their life experience is short and not long-lived. So this idea of maturity is something I want you to think about when it comes to patience. Next, I want you to understand this other idea that to be patient means that you have adopted a mindset of becoming the lowest heartbeat in the room. To become the lowest heartbeat in the room, which is advice I have repeated on this podcast and given before in this podcast. And it is this idea that by calming yourself down, by finding your inner peace, patience is something that you have more of, because you're not so urgently trying to change or to get to a place so that you can be okay. Our desire for control, our desire to lose our patience, is often rooted in the desire to change what's going on. I can tell you, on the days where I feel the most overwhelmed, the most anxiety, the least amount of patience, it is on the days that I am trying to change and move forward this moment. that I just want this moment to be over, and my patience, my willingness to just wait it out is gone because I just don't like how it feels on the inside, and I'm trying to change it. Now, in the context of patience, this is the problem. Because it's the place on the inside where patience needs to come from. And if you are having a hard time curating that peace place on the inside, you are going to struggle to be able to create a place of patience. And it is this place that you're going to struggle to lead your life, to get the results that you're wanting, to also, more importantly, learn better responses for your kids. Because if you lose your patience, your kids are going to lose your patience. And you will only have yourself to blame when they are impatient, high anxiety functioning adults. Now, that may happen on their own anyhow, but you do not need to help them by giving an impatient response when you're supposed to be the adult in the room representing these ideas and ideals. So, understand that patience is not a skill. It is a place of peace that comes from the inside. It is adopting this mindset of becoming the lowest heartbeat in the room that brings patience to the surface. And there is more to this, but I wanted to introduce the idea of where does patience come from today. That is all I have for you today. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll be back again with you guys on Monday.